Before we start with anything, we need to be able to prepare the wire. So we strip one end of the wire. Then we bend that end to 90 degrees. We cut it to the appropriate length and we strip the other end. We bend the other end to 90 degrees as well. Now you need to have your breadboard laying in front of you. You will not need the adapter. You can put in your first LED and then you will need to put in another LED that spans 5 by 2. You can put in your third LED right now. You need to bridge the two halves with a wire now. This is what it should look like when the first row is completed. Then you need to repeat this 3 times for each of the rows. How the resistors will need to be wired up will be showed right here. You will need to follow this, so feel free to pause the video right now. To connect your breadboard to your Arduino, you will need some jumper pins. Use good quality ones and not the ones I used. I had to change them out later. You will want 3 of each color, for the rows and for the columns. I'm using pins 22, 24 and 26 for my columns and 23, 25 and 27 for my rows. But these have been changed throughout the project and it may not be consistent throughout it. So now I have my rows in and now I have my columns in. You can start putting in your columns. You first place your first column next to this black wire. You can also place it directly into the column that the black wire connects to. Then you place another column right next to it and place another column right next to that. Now you can place your first row next to the first pin of the first LED of the first row. Then you do that for the second row and you do that for the third row. And you do that. This is what it should look like in the end. You can now plug in your mini B cable that came with my Arduino 2560 Mega. This will allow you to connect this to your computer. Now you can head over to the official Arduino website at www.arduino.cc. You can then go down to the software page and go to downloads. You can download the Arduino IDE for the Windows or for Mac or even Linux. I already have that open down here. I already have something written, but your blank IDE will come pre-installed with a void setup. And void loop. These are just functions that are specialized to the Arduino so that you can run your setup process and you can run your main code which loops over and over and over again. All the code will be down in the description below. So I have row array, I have column array, I have row values, I have alphabet grid array, and I have alphabet. These are all my variables. So row array is basically the array of all the rows that will be used in the grid. Column array is the array of all the columns. And row value is basically some sort of an input string. So we have 9 LEDs in our 3 by 3 grid. And this is a way to address all of them. We all then have the alphabet grid array, which is basically how do I put this? Which is basically every single one of the alphabet mapped to a row value mapped to the LED grid. Then I have car alphabet, which is basically character, and you have the alphabet, which is 26 letters. And this currently isn't working, but I will try to get it to work later on. If I get it to work, the link will be in the description below. So that's it for the variables. Now we go to the setup. So you have for I, and that just goes through the row array and initializes each of the things in the row array. Then you have void turn on LEDs. So you have your rows, you have your columns, and you have your values, and you have to input all of that. Then it goes through your rows and turns each of the rows on. Then it goes through the columns and checks which one of them is on and which one of them is off. The next part is in the loop, is basically how I run it and how I put a delay in between, so it changes the thing every, now it's 1 second here. So I have long elapsed time and long start time, and that just makes sure that the time from the current time to the start time is less than 1000. If it's more than 1000, it moves on to the next part and it resets the start time. So all the code that was used in this project will be in the description below, so please don't hesitate to check that out. What was just shown before with the sort of letters said please like and subscribe, so I wouldn't mind having you do that, but it's your choice. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it. If you didn't like it, it's your choice. Thank you very much, and I will be following this up with another video where I try to build some sort of an enclosure for this LED array so it looks nicer, it looks more presentable. So stick around and subscribe not to miss that.